Hi, my name is Grace, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the digestive symptoms that anxiety can produce. Anybody who's dealing with anxiety will vouch for this that they do experience some kind of digestive symptoms, be it nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, bloating, or just this dull ache in their stomach, or just an uneasiness that is associated with meal times. And very often we don't realize that it's the anxiety that is fueling our digestive symptoms. So, in this video, I'm going to just enlist all the symptoms that you could experience related to your digestive symptom if you're having anxiety. And I'll try and break down why anxiety can produce so many digestive symptoms. Because I believe that if you're able to understand the why, it becomes easier to accept that indeed anxiety is producing our digestive symptoms, and then we can look at solutions for our symptoms through the lens of anxiety. Yes, you will work on your meals and the probiotics and your microbiome and all of that, but you will consider anxiety as a large part of your symptoms. So let's get started. The first symptom that I'm going to talk about is unexplained nausea. A lot of people have nausea, especially in the morning. This could last throughout the day, or it could be there only in the mornings and then it starts subsiding. A lot of people have this every day, or it could be there just during a stressful time. So let's say you have an exam coming up, you have an interview, or you have travel scheduled, or you've just gone through a very stressful period, and out of the blue you have nausea, and you're wondering, why am I having nausea? I haven't eaten anything like that. My stomach seems to be okay. I'm not down with the flu, but I just seem to be having nausea. And nausea can be a very important symptom that anxiety produces. The next thing is pain. There could be a dull aching pain throughout the abdomen which seems to not be localized, that is, it seems to be moving, or you can have sharp shooting pain which comes in a certain spot and makes you believe that there's something serious going on, probably a gallstone or something to do with your pancreas, and you usually rush and get yourself checked only to find that there's nothing there. The other symptom could be heartburn, acidity, and sometimes the pain is so severe that it almost mimics a heart attack and it seems to be coming from the chest. Then you could also experience feeling anxious or uneasy while eating, sweating while eating, or having palpitations and panic attacks while you're eating or just after you've eaten a few meals. This could happen when you're eating any kind of food, but usually it's associated with eating spicy food, or eating food that's too hot, or eating in an atmosphere where the temperature is very high. Most people experience these symptoms in such scenarios. And then once this starts happening and you have such episodes 2, 3, 4, 5 times, meal times become very stressful, and then the cycle starts where the palpitations are fueling the anxiety, and the anxiety is causing the palpitations when you are close to meal times. A lot of people also experience difficulty swallowing or pain in their jaw when they are eating, and this could also be caused by anxiety. I remember I had this for a very long time. Some people also experience that when they are about to eat, they feel famished and they are ready to enjoy an entire meal. They sit to eat, and 2, 3 bites in, they realize that their appetite has gone. They just cannot eat anything. Some people also experience that they feel a sensation as if something is passing upwards in the food pipe. This sensation is called globus hystericus, and this is a very common sensation that most people experience when they're having anxiety. Again, a symptom that I experienced, not fun at all. Another symptom that most people experience is bloating, where the abdomen feels distended at all times, and they describe it as no matter what they eat, they say everything that I eat feels like it's turning to gas. And the abdomen feels bloated always, whether they're eating simple home cooked food, whether they're eating food from outside, they're eating junk food, whatever it is, it just feels that the stomach is producing so much gas. And worse, they find it very difficult to pass this gas. So, if the abdomen is bloated and you're passing gas through flatulence or you're belching, it's still okay. But imagine if it's bloated and you're just not able to find a way to relieve yourself, it can really be distressing. Another symptom is constipation. This can be very distressing again, because a lot of people try different things, different home remedies, medications, laxatives, herbs, changes in their diet, and they just feel that, I was able to pass stools normally, everything was fine, and suddenly I just feel that my bowels are not getting emptied fully. It's like you may be going to the toilet every day, you're passing stools every day, but you just don't get that feeling that your bowels are totally emptied. So you keep trying different things and you keep getting more frustrated. Some people experience the opposite, where they are having diarrhea, where they are either having loose stools every day, the stools are not well formed, or the frequency of the stools is too often. I know a lot of people who pass stools or have the urge to rush to the loo immediately after eating, no matter what they have eaten. And one can only imagine how inconvenient this could be, because it just kills your social life. It becomes a source of embarrassment to you. It's just so stressful. You're constantly thinking about what you're going to eat, where you are, how your day is going to be planned, so that you don't have to find yourself in an embarrassing or an uncomfortable situation where you will not have access to the washroom. So this is also a very common symptom, where people are having to rush to the washroom, they are having a lot of diarrhea related symptoms. A lot of people also say that I feel as if my food is not digested, and everything that I eat, it just seems to pass out of my body, just seems to pass out of my system. This also leads to a lot of weight loss then, and it does lead to a lot of nutritional deficiencies, which in a way I would say are secondary symptoms. Once the diarrhea or the digestive symptoms have been there for a very long time, then you could have secondary symptoms of weight loss or of nutritional deficiencies. So now that we know all of these symptoms that anxiety can produce when it comes to the digestive system, let's understand, why does it do this? Why does anxiety mess up with our digestive system? To understand this, we need to go back a little bit and understand about the nervous system. The nervous system consists of two parts. You have the central nervous system, which is the voluntary nervous system, which controls things like me moving my hands and making these hand gestures. And you have the autonomic nervous system, which is involuntary and controls things like me breathing right now, or my digestive system, which is digesting the lunch that I've eaten an hour ago. Now, here's where things get interesting. The autonomic nervous system, or the involuntary nervous system, has another part to it, which is called the enteric nervous system. And this is what we need to understand, or this is what we need to know about when it comes to our digestive symptoms and anxiety. It's all about the enteric nervous system. Now, when it comes to the enteric nervous system, you may have heard about this, that your gut is called your second brain. Why is your gut called the second brain? Because the enteric nervous system is actually present in your digestive system. So, these nerves, and it has more nerves than your spinal cord does, and these nerves are actually present in the lining of your digestive tract. So it means that literally our digestive system has a mind of its own. By now, you know that anxiety is a condition that affects your nerves, right? It's a condition of hyper nerves, but it doesn't only affect the nerves in your brain and in your spinal cord. It also affects the nerves in our digestive system. It also affects these enteric nervous system, and hence we have so many symptoms like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, and just basically a digestive system that's messed up. Now let's understand this a little bit more in detail, and to do that I'm going to take this example which has been taken so many times, but I'm going to repeat it, where you find yourself in a jungle face to face with a tiger. And let's understand what happens to our brain and to our bodies and to our nervous system when we are in such a stressful situation. So let's say you are face to face with a tiger, your eyes see it and send the message to the brain, and the brain realizes, oh, danger. Now, what is it that I need to do? And your brain decides immediately. It just knows that its duty right now, its job right now, is to keep you alive. Is digesting the lunch right now a priority? No. So your brain says, digesting food is not a priority. The priority right now is to keep you alive. We've got to do everything that it takes to keep you alive. So, systems in our body which are not going to help to keep you alive, they're not going to help you run, they're not going to help you plan what to do, they're not going to help you decide what's going to be your next move. Those systems are not going to be given a priority right now. They are going to shut down. The systems in your body that are going to help you to either run from here, to freeze, to think of a plan and to execute that plan, those are the only systems that we're going to give priority to, and they are the ones that we're going to focus on. They are the ones that are going to be active. Hence, you'll notice that pupils get dilated, your heart rate increases, the blood flows to the muscles preparing you to run, and this is everything that happens when your brain decides that you need to be in fear, in fight, flight, freeze mode. You may have heard this before. And this is the role of your sympathetic nervous system. It is called sympathetic, but the sympathetic nervous system only sympathizes with the fear feeling that you're getting. It only activates the systems of your body that help you to stay alive. It doesn't sympathize with you in any other way. It's just going to keep you alive. That's what it does. Now, we don't have a tiger in our lives every day, a real tiger. But we have tigers in different forms where our day to day stressors, loans, financial stresses, aging parents, our own health, our work related stress, our relationship stress, everything that we have. Maybe somebody is going through divorce, maybe somebody has lost a loved one, maybe somebody is grieving, basically any kind of stress. These are our tigers, these are the tigers in our lives. And either we're going through that stressful period right now where we are facing these so-called tigers, or we are replaying the memories of these stressful situations and we're replaying that episode of facing the tiger. And every time we go through these stressful situations, we are activating our fight, flight, freeze mode. And what does the brain do when we are activating this every single time? It says, shut down the systems which are not important. Focus on the systems that are going to help you stay alive. Just focus on the systems that are going to help you run from here or think of a plan to keep you alive and to save you from this danger. So every system in your body which the brain considers as not important, think digestive system, is not given importance. The blood flow to that system is not really as it should be, and then you begin to have digestive systems. So, whether it's an acute stress or if you're under chronic anxiety, the anxiety has gone on for a very long time. Eventually, because of being in the fight, flight, freeze mode for a long time and being in the sympathetic state for a long time, facing our so called tigers, the tigers in our lives, whether they're real tigers or whether they're the memories of facing those tigers. Because of that, our systems, our digestive system starts producing symptoms and it goes absolutely out of whack. And that is why we have so many digestive symptoms when it comes to anxiety. And because we have a nervous system right there within the digestive tract, the symptoms are immediate and they are so intense and they often last for a very long time. I hope I have been able to simplify this and not complicate things more for you. So, when your brain stays in this anxious state for a very long time, what happens to your digestive system? The digestive system produces a lot of symptoms. Firstly, the hunger cues go. If you're facing a tiger, you're not going to think about your meal, right? You're going to think about running. So the hunger cue dies and you don't feel hungry. Then the mouth does not produce enough saliva. The saliva production drops and your mouth starts feeling dry. Then your food pipe or your esophagus tightens, making it hard for you to swallow, or just within a few bites, you feel as if you're unable to eat more. Then your stomach also tightens, and that leads to feelings of nausea, very often vomiting, or you feel again that you've eaten a few bites and you're full, or you have complete loss of appetite. Now, if these symptoms continue for a long time, it can lead to low stomach acid, and it could even change your gut microbiome, which could then produce symptoms like constipation, diarrhea, just a bloated feeling very often, or you're unable to digest food the way you were able to in the past. Now, you know what? Very often, when we start experiencing these symptoms, we think that it's something to do with our digestive system only. So, we try and take probiotics, we change our diet, we eliminate certain foods, we try and fix our gut microbiome. And while we're doing these things, while we're trying these different remedies, nothing seems to be working, and that makes us more anxious because we start thinking, why am I not getting better? I'm doing so many things and nothing is working. How can that be? Why is it that everything is failing me? And that increases our anxiety further. So, what can we do about this? First of all, realize that it's okay to feel this way because the digestive system has a nervous system of its own. It's obviously going to produce a lot of symptoms when you're anxious. And the good news is that by working on your anxiety and fixing your anxiety, a lot of these digestive symptoms can be resolved. What we will be doing about this, what are the possible solutions? Let's look at that in the next video. And I'll see you there. Till then, take care of yourself.